Hey guys, I'm Jack and I live out of my car, and I get a lot of comments wondering as to why I'm living out of my car and what my story of what brought me here. Honestly, I've shared this story before. This is the shortened version of the story of why I'm homeless and why I'm continuing to be living out of my car. It was just a bunch of unfortunate events that happened back to back. I was living at home with my mom at the time. However, those apartments were very old and not taken care of, so they collapsed and then they kicked us out. The landlord that bought them provided us with the hotel room for all of us to live in. As you can imagine, 8 people in one room did not work out well. A month after that, I was in an accident and my car got totaled, and I had no means of transportation for my son and I, and there was absolutely no way that I could get him to school and back into my job. Dad and I made the decision that he was gonna go live with him. His father lives 2 hours away. I couldn't see my son because I didn't have a car. There was no way that I can travel to see him, and my mental state was deteriorating little by little. I acquired quite a bit of debt because I would use my credit card for everything that my son wanted, everything that I may needed. After I lost my job, and that was a whole nother issue because I lost my main source of income and there was just like nothing that I can really do. For whatever reason, I couldn't find a job. Besides the family problems that were going on as well, I just didn't have any money. I knew that there was no way that I can continue paying rent, and I made the decision to live out of my car. Honestly, wanted to get any job that I could, and I started applying everywhere, and I got a job in a whole different city. Honestly, that job kickstarted everything that I needed it to kickstart. Now, I'm choosing to live out of my car, not only finish paying off my debt, but to also save money to be able to get an apartment for my son and I. Because a lot of people think for some reason that I abandoned my son. You can judge all you want, but I never abandoned my son, and I'm never going to. Now, I'm giving myself a 4-month goal. So by the end of this year, I am hoping that I reach and I will. I know I am. If you guys want to be part of my journey, that would be so great. I love having you guys here. I love the community that we've built here because everyone here is so sweet. I love that there's no hate. I love that there's no negativity. And that's what I strive for everyone to be. So I got 4 months to finish paying off my debt and save enough money to be able to get an apartment. After that, I am very much hoping that I can, settle down. Car life is cool, and I do recommend anyone to do it if you do want to save money. But me being a mother, I don't think I could take doing car life any much longer than the end of this year. I would want to buy an RV and then travel with my son. I think that'd be so great, but that would be in the future, and I'm very, very, very excited to see how that plays out. I'm doing this for my son. At this point, nothing can stop me from accomplishing this. But that is the shortened version, but not really because I hella yap. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I love you.
See, here's the thing, especially when it comes to affordability. She mentioned 8 people in an apartment that ended up with 8 people in a hotel. It's only going to get worse. And the reason why is if you pay attention to the moves of the current administration, they are trying to get interest rates down, right? So yesterday we had the Federal Reserve drop the interest rates 25 basis points, okay? And they are expecting to purchase bonds starting on the 12th. Today's the 11th. So what that means is they're going to start printing money. What happens when you print money? The price of everything goes up. In addition to that, they are trying to get the rates down to 0 next year so that the Trump administration can repeat what we saw during COVID, right? Where, that pushed a lot of people into, spending more. Of course, obviously, when you have inflation, it, the stock market goes up because Trump, his gauge on whether he's doing a good job or not is what the stock market is doing. And it's crazy because the majority of Americans are not in the stock market. But also, pushing inflation that high could push us even closer to a recession. Some say we are in a recession. Some say we aren't. That will have an effect on the mortgage market, right? So it will cause mortgage rates to also go down. Despite what anybody says, when mortgage rates go down, housing prices go up. So right now we're in like the high fives. I've seen people get like 5.7, 5.8, 5.9. And essentially, the winter time is when we have a winter correction, and come spring, if the rates are still in that range or even lower, I know in May, Trump is putting his own person in charge of the Federal Reserve. If they can get the rates lower, what's going to happen is everybody's going to run out and try to buy housing at the same time. Now, what that's going to do is increase the prices. Okay, this happens every time. Nothing ever changes. It happens every time. And this car life or van life is only going to get worse because wages don't keep up with any of that. Before a job will give you a pay raise, they'll just fire you. Okay, and use artificial intelligence or find somebody else that will do your same job plus another job for a lot cheaper. Okay.
No, I'm just kind of a different breed of a person. When people ask me how I am doing in my van and how the transition was, and I literally tell them, like, there's literally no issue. There wasn't really much of a transition. Like I get stuff out of totes. I really don't care. It's like a little cold sometimes. Still don't care. None of the things are problematic for me. I don't feel smaller. I've actually honestly feel happier in my car than I did my apartment. I think the biggest thing that is just a little bit more awkward for me is like explaining it to people that I live in my van. Some people have like this really cool reaction where they're like, oh my gosh, good for you, like what a journey. And then other people are like, are you safe? But yeah, no. The whole idea of living out of my van is honestly just a total breeze for me. I haven't minded anything at all.
Yeah, see, we're definitely going to see a lot more of this. It's kind of unfortunate, and I'm actually surprised. Between these two women, they haven't found a simp that will pay their way. That does go on out here a lot, a whole lot. It is what it is, but this is just where people got to do what they got to do. It's this, in my opinion, this is pretty much like one notch above homelessness. You obviously can go out and get services from your state where you can get Section 8 vouchers and stuff like that. But I guess some people, either they don't know that or they just choose to they choose this life, right? Me personally, I couldn't live in the car. I'm actually kind of too tall. Like if it came to that, it would most definitely have to be an RV, which would still be comfortable. But things like this, it's only going to get worse. Again, with these policy changes, a lot of people are collateral damage. Okay, one of the best things you can do is manage your money correctly, invest your money, and have a secondary income like a business. I always talk about having a business. Entrepreneurship obviously isn't easy, but it can save you. It saved me when I lost my job a while ago, years ago, over a decade ago, and I haven't been back because now I'm used to being an entrepreneur. I'm accustomed to the ups and downs with that. Appreciate you all tapping in, and I hope that they figure something out and better their lives in the future. Thanks for watching.